This is When You Were Everything, chapter The Rumor, pages 268 to 277, and this is a long one. If you need to take a break, please do. The Rumor. When I walk into school the next day, everyone is staring at me. I know I've been more paranoid about a lot of things since I lost Layla, afraid that the whole world could turn against me at any moment because my best friend did. That's why I'm not sure I can trust my heart around Dom. That's why I don't always answer Jace's, Sydney's, and now Willa's texts right away. I'm still a bit afraid of letting any of them get too close. But I don't think I'm hallucinating when I say everyone is staring at me. I want to think it's because I'm wearing a new sweater over my uniform shirt. It's tighter than the things I usually wear, bright white against my eggshell brown skin, in sharp opposition to my normal black hoodies. My nails are painted white too, or Love Lily, as Sydney read off the bottle before letting me borrow it. She said she'd only wear the color in summer, but she thought I could pull it off year-round. You need to lighten up, she said, figuratively and literally. So I try to ignore the looks or chalk them up to my new clothes or my bright nails. I open my locker like everything is normal. The truth is, the stares and whispers remind me of the day everything between Layla and me started to go really wrong, when Sloane called me a bad name and Layla didn't seem to care. And when I got to homeroom, people are still staring, and it's harder to ignore in a small classroom than it was in the long, wide halls. I noticed something else, too. Layla and Sloane are sitting side by side again. I never did find out what happened yesterday to briefly pull them apart. Mr. Yoon takes attendance, and when I raise my hand and say, "Here," it feels like the whole room goes silent. I stare at my book, and my white nails against the pages, which have yellowed with age, and I read the same line of Othello over and over and over. Men should be what they seem. Men should be what they seem. Dom is late. He comes in a few minutes after the attendance has been taken, and though I look right at him, he avoids my gaze. He sits a few feet away, despite the open seats on either side of me. I gave him his space all day yesterday, so today I plan to apologize. I wore my cute sweater and painted my nails and hoped it would make me brave. But with everyone staring and him still keeping his distance, I lose my nerve. He doesn't want to speak to me, just like Layla. I swallow and look down at my desk, pretending to read the words on the pages in front of me, until I feel my phone vibrate in my pocket. When I look down at it, it's a text from Sydney. "Meet me in the second floor girls' bathroom, like now." Why? I'll tell you when we get here. I raise my hand and ask Mr. Yoon for a hall pass, and as soon as he gives me one, I walk quickly to the bathroom to meet Sydney. I push open the door and she's pacing, arms crossed, her crazy curly hair everywhere. "Holy cow, Cleo," she says. She doesn't stop pacing. "Holy cow!" "What?" I ask. "Have you noticed anything weird today? Like, are people treating you differently?" I don't want to talk about everyone staring at me, when yesterday I was invisible. I don't want to say, "Yes, of course, how could I have not?" I shake my head. Then I kind of shrug and nod because I'm not sure I want to know why. Willa bursts into the bathroom a second later. She reaches out and pulls me into a hug, and her armful of bangles are cold against my neck. "It's so awful," she says. And Sydney gently pulls her away from me. "I didn't tell her yet, Will." "Tell me what?" I ask, officially freaked all the way out. "You know what everyone's saying, right?" Willa whispers, and I instantly feel shaky and all wrong inside. My sweater feels too tight, my nails a little too white. "No?" Willa storms through the bathroom like a whirlwind, knocking all the stalls open, making sure we're alone. Once she's confirmed that we are, she crosses her arms like a bouncer at a club and nods at Sydney. I can see that they have the kind of connection Layla and I used to. They can communicate without any words at all. It makes my chest ache in a peculiar and lonely way. Someone sent around a text about your dad, Sydney says. I frown. I was expecting it to be something horrible about me, about how I skipped so many days the last 2 months, or that someone saw my mom riding the train with me, dropping me off like I'm a little kid. I even thought that maybe it would be some lie about me and Dom, since he sat at lunch with me a few times, and anyone who saw us could have decided to tell the world that we were secretly dating or something worse. But my dad? He doesn't even work here anymore, I say. Yeah, that's what everyone is talking about. Look, I don't believe it, okay? I want to make that clear first. I don't think it's true. Me either, Willa says. She rolls her eyes and shakes her head. Her choppy hair swings. It's totally ridiculous. Sydney, I say, stepping closer to her, you are freaking me out. What are people saying about my dad? She takes a deep breath and nervously flips her hair. She looks down and up and all around, and just before I'm about to scream at her to just tell me, she does. They're saying that the reason he doesn't work here anymore is because she squeezes her eyes shut, he hooked up with a student. I lose my breath. I blink a half dozen times, and then Willa is beside me, with her arm wrapped around my shoulder. It feels like the weight of her is the only thing keeping me from splitting apart. What? I ask, and my voice comes out almost as a whisper. What the hell? Why would anyone say that about him? Sydney opens one of her eyes, and I guess I look calm enough because she opens the other and shrugs. No idea, dude. It's also kind of weird that it's happening right now. Almost 2 months after he quit. Like, if this was going to be a rumor, shouldn't it have started a long time ago? I can't think straight. I can't even really see. I'm that unsettled. I push Willa roughly away. I lean against the wall and close my eyes. And I desperately want to scream. At anyone who believes this horrible lie, at Sydney for telling me about it, at the monster who could invent a rumor this cruel. But more than anything, I want to disappear. The last time I felt like this was right before Layla and I fell apart for good. I feel the punch of tears at the back of my throat, but it's not because I'm sad. This is pure, unadulterated rage. That's why everyone is staring at me, I say. That's why people are acting like I have the bubonic plague. They think my dad is a pedophile? I look at Sydney, like she needs to confirm this any more than she already has. But she just tucks her hair behind her ears and looks at the floor. Her earrings today are spirals, tiny tornadoes I wish would pick me up and carry me away. I look at Willa and her dark eyes are fierce, like she's as angry about this as I am. She reaches out and grabs one of Sydney's dangling hands. It's like she always has to be holding on to someone else. What are you going to do? Sydney asks. And I make a mental note that she said you instead of we. Layla would have said we, and something about having to endure this alone is too much to take. I grit my teeth, step into a stall, slamming the door closed behind me. Cleo? Sydney says, Cleo, are you okay? I mean, I know you're not, but just leave me alone, I mutter. I hear Willa and Sydney whispering, and then Sydney tries to talk to me again, but I stay silent. After about 10 minutes, a few other girls come into the bathroom, and under the door I see Sydney's riding boots and Willa's checkered Vans shuffle to the other side of the bathroom. When it sounds like the other girls have left, Sydney tries one last time. Cleo, it's almost time for first period. Do you want me to stay in here with you, or do you want space? I want her to stay, but I don't want to have to ask. I want her to go, but I can't send her away. I don't say anything. When I hear Sydney swing her bag back over her shoulder, my throat gets achy and my eyes fill. If you need us, Willa says after a few hushed minutes pass between us, just text, okay? We'll come right away, Sydney adds, and she drags her feet a little as they turn away from my stall. I hear Willa's bangles jingling, and then they're finally gone. I open the door of my stall the tiniest bit to peek out and make sure the bathroom is completely empty. It is. I kick the stall door a few times until it swings all the way open. Then I sit there until I feel calm enough to go back to Mr. Yoon's class and grab my stuff. I can't go to first period. I can't do the rest of today. I know there will be consequences, but there's no way I can sit in a room with 20 other people who think my dad is a perv. I want to find out who did this to him, destroyed his reputation with a heinous lie, so I need to find out who sent that text message. The second I step out of the girls' bathroom, Jace steps out of the boys'. He's looking down at his phone, so I try to skirt by him, but he must recognize my braids or hear the clomp of my boots. Cleo Imani, he starts, but I cut him off. I spin and I say, my voice hissing through my teeth, not right now, Jace, okay? He looks surprised. His ever-present dimpled grin falls off his face and his brow wrinkles, his dark eyes taking in my war-torn face. Oh no, are you all right? I swallow hard around the hurt and shake my head, because I could never lie to Jace. But I don't want to talk about it, okay? I just need to get back to class. He reaches for me then. He reaches in that particular way that he used to whenever we'd had a fight back when he loved me. He put his big hand out, and I'd put my smaller one in his, and he'd pull me to his chest. I would complain or cry, and he would kiss me until it was all better. But he can't fix me with kisses, because he doesn't love me anymore. And even if he did, this isn't something his gentleness would make better. I have to go, I say, so softly I'm sure he doesn't hear me. I leave his hand outstretched, dangling in the space between us. When I walk back into class, Dom has moved into one of the empty seats closer to where I was sitting. And while this would have been exciting to me 10 minutes ago, now it just makes me angry. Why should he get to decide when he wants to be my friend? Why does everyone else get to pick when they want to be close to me and when they don't? I'm sick of it. I sit down and I pretend Dom isn't there, less than a foot away from me, though the sweet smoke and nutty soap scent of him is hard to ignore. I start packing up my stuff, the lump in my throat swelling so large that I have to bite my tongue against the pain of it. Dom leans across the space between our desks. You good? He asks, and I know my jaw is clenched tight and my eyes are probably glassy behind my glasses, because not even my best poker face could hide this kind of pain well. I've been so used to going it alone that I forgot what it was like to have someone else care, like Sydney and Willa in the bathroom, like Jace in the hall, like Dom now. Having people who notice when you aren't okay complicates things. I take a deep breath and nod, hard. I sneak a glance at Dom because I want him to believe me. I want, more than anything, for him to go back to being mad, just so he'll leave me alone. But he persists. He leans in again and says, You sure? And I just lose it. I slam down the book I'm holding hard enough on my desk that the people around us look at me even more intently than they've been staring all morning. Geez, I'm fine. Why are you suddenly acting like you care? Dom frowns at me. He doesn't roll his eyes or change his posture at all. He just keeps looking at me. And eventually he looks away. I don't know, he says. My bad. As soon as the bell rings, I shoulder my bag and fly from the room. I push my way through the crowded halls, thinking about nothing but the irony of that line from Othello when I'm questioning everything. Men should be what they seem. I need to find a place to hide so I won't have to endure everyone's stares for the rest of the day. So obviously I head straight to the library to tuck myself away in the stacks. I push my earbuds in and turn the cover girls all the way up. And I don't stop when I think I hear someone calling my name. I just walk even faster. I'm only a few feet away from the library door, inches from freedom, when I feel a hand encircle my wrist. I turn to see who's grabbed me, and it's Valeria. Her cheeks are blotchy, like she's hot or upset, the same way Sloane's gets. And her fluffy auburn hair is falling out of its ponytail. Valeria? I ask. I pull my wrist out of her grip and yank out my earbuds. What are you doing? She's out of breath. She must have seen me as I passed through the senior hall and run after me the whole way from there. Hey, she says, give me a minute. She bends over, her hands on her knees, her breath coming in quick bursts, and I wonder how she sings the way she does if jogging down a hallway wins her like this. I say, Valeria, I gotta go. I turn and open the door to the library, but she follows me in. Wait, she says. What? I whisper. Miss White, the librarian, shushes us anyway. She looks behind her, like she's making sure no one else hears what she's about to say. But the library is nearly empty because most people are in class, and the halls are too, since first period starts in just a few minutes. I've been looking for you all morning, Valeria says. She pulls her ponytail holder out of her hair and twists her giant curls into a messy topknot, roughly securing it like an animal she needs to tame. I thought you were in Mr. Yoon's homeroom. I am. I was in the bathroom for most of the period, I tell her. Sydney and Willa's concerned faces flash in my mind, but I force them away. Oh, she says. Well, she smooths the sides of her head and tucks errant strands into the bun. Valeria has maybe said 3 words to me since Layla joined chorus, but she's always seemed nicer than the other girls. I sigh through my nose, because if she ran all the way down the hall to tell me something, the least I can do is listen. Don't freak, she says, slipping her thumbs behind the yellow straps of her backpack. But I'm pretty sure my cousin started the rumor about your dad.